Hello there. My name is Marty McDonald. I am co-founder of Bad Rhino, which is a marketing agency located in Westchester, Pennsylvania. And we have a series coming out, and this is the first one in that series. So it's a little bit of practice, but we're also, looking to provide information to your local community, whether you're local in Westchester or anywhere else in the United States, even around the world. So, one of the things over the past few years is we've come up with really just 8 practical tips, and that's what we want to share with you today. About us, we're Bad Rhino. As I mentioned before, we're an award winning full service digital marketing agency in Philadelphia, PA, with 12 years servicing clients of all sizes, everything from the restaurant up the street to Fortune 100 companies, all sizes, revenue models, and everything. When you work with us, you definitely work with an entire team, not only focus on strategy, but then execution on everything. So you can learn more about us at badrhinoinc.com. All right, let's just jump into this. It's going to be pretty quick. There'll be some notes below and then some other resources linked below this video. But what we're going to cover is what is local marketing, why it matters in 2023, 8 quick local marketing tactics that you should try in 2023 if you're not using them, or you should expand upon them. What we want to be able to do is always blend online and offline marketing in local marketing for sure, how your point of sale system can support your marketing as well. Couple things, but at the end of the day, local marketing is just about being seen. Yeah, you have great products, great location, even great pricing, but it's not enough to drive sales if you can't get the word out about your store, about your service, etc. So whether you just open your first store or you're looking to refresh some of your other marketing, what we're going to do here is just talk about promoting your retail business specifically. We'll have other things coming out talking about services as well. Why does local marketing matter? Well, really simply, it just drives leads and sales when it's done well. It has to be done very well. Everybody's online these days. So we want to make sure that your potential customers remember the next time they need a product that you sell or service. Because your business has a physical location, local marketing is particularly important. So we're not talking about e-commerce 100% here. All right. I want to get that straight here. In this presentation, we're talking about you have a store people come into, okay? Still happens in 2023, and more businesses are coming back out of the pandemic. But most importantly, they're looking for ways to drive sales. As more and more foot traffic goes out there, they definitely want to capture that, right? So some of the top things that we're going to go over here, we've worked with retail businesses. We've worked with restaurants at Bad Rhino. We've worked with clothing stores, jewelry, especially specialty foods, a variety of those things where we've seen tremendous success utilizing these tactics. So let's just go through them. Like I said, today is a quick presentation for our local marketing folks as well as our local clients. So you want to be easy to reach, right? So what's that mean? Well, first thing is a lot of the simple stuff is what we see a lot of local businesses that they're not doing. So we're going to make sure that your store's address and phone number are where people can see it online, or an email or direct messaging, however you want to handle that in 2023. Most of the time we see like they're not doing that. It's like the simple stuff that they just overlooked, or they didn't have time. You're running a business, you have a lot of other things going on, but the simple things are really one of the things that you want to do. The business phone number and address on front and center of every page of your website for a local business can be huge. Not just at the footer, but also sprinkled throughout. You don't have to put it on every, little piece, but you want to make sure that it's easy to find. Attracting foot traffic is something that we always get. That's the question. How do we get people to come by? And there's a couple of different ways you can do it. There's some paid advertising you can do. But more importantly, people forget that you have an actual location that people are walking by, right? And one of the things that you can do is certain visual things that make people stop. Like QR codes made a comeback from the pandemic, right? You can have an image there and say, here, click here and see our online store, right? Now they're not coming in, but you also want to make sure that you're combining all those things together. And it's a lot for a small business, right? When they're trying to get local and they're like, do I do print? Do I do mailers? They're still great postcards are still great in 2023 for a local business, but we want to make sure here in these 8 simple tactics that we're always incorporating things that will pull people in there. Whether they're going to come in, browse, and then make a future purchase online, or they're going to buy that day. So, you want to make sure like everything is just kind of on the up and up. Brand new sign, like I said, like QR codes are back, right? Business cards, free samples. It sounds silly in 2023. I don't necessarily say hand out cards, right? Because that leads to some messes. People drop them, people just throw them out. But, if they do walk in, you can have them leave with something physical. It does matter today. It's really interesting to see how some what people would call old school things are coming back after people are coming back out in post-pandemic, right? So what I'm saying here is you don't have to redesign everything or create all this new branding, but maybe refresh a few things. Like you said here, like a new coat of paint is the best way to describe it. Just having something that you used to do that you got away from, combining that with your digital marketing can be huge, right? So many businesses, unfortunately, have moved, operated remotely over the last 16, 18 months. The big thing here is what I find is the majority of questions. Like during the pandemic, we got questions like, hey, how do we do this? Because nobody's coming in here. So we have to change things online, our website. We need to operate so that, we can take orders online, et cetera. So there was a whole digital, push there where they needed to update websites, update shopping carts, update a lot of things. But the one thing that I see and our team sees a lot is people are like, oh, I didn't know you were still here, right? So physically existing, right? Making sure, because unfortunately they've changed so much over the past really 18 to 24 months for sure. They're not really sure. So as new things kind of come about and people start coming back into, a small town that you might be located in, like Westchester here in Pennsylvania, or some other spots, around the country, that foot traffic's increasing. Restaurant festivals are coming up. Parades are happening. Just a lot of things are going on that were put on pause, right? So we want to make sure that your address is out there, right? So you have to entice those customers back. And how do you do that? Once you start, it's like you have to have a reason for them to come back again, right? That's why I said, like, handing out a card or something that you're promoting an event or a sale or things like that. You want to make sure that you give them a reason to come back again. And like we said before, you don't need to reinvent your storefront, but a fresh coat of paint, right? So like we were saying earlier, just a couple slides ago, you want to leverage your digital and traditional marketing, right? You want to make sure that both things are working for you and they're working in conjunction, okay? So take a look at that. You have to take the time to say, okay, what do we have? What do we don't have? And what do we want to invest our time and money into? And, doing those things now is the right time to do it. Doing them now is the best time because a lot of people are starting to come out. Everything else aside, they're looking for places to support too. So you want to be out in front of them. I'm not big on this, but I also do like getting people on your email list. So like I said, I'm not really big on handing something out, but you can also do a mailer that does the same thing. You can also do something in store as soon as somebody buys, is just literally sign them up for the email list, right? Get them on it, a way you can contact them. SMS and email are huge. And that's one thing you want to do. So think of a way that you can, all the people that you come in to do anything, service, product, whatever, make sure that you're getting them on an email list. So it also allows you to communicate them, but you can also track all your loyal customers, right? So one of the things that we see is people forget that people want to hear from them. And even as a small business, you can email, 2-3 times a month, even 2-3 times a week. 2-3 times a week for a small business might be much, but when you create some sort of loyalty program, it's a way to segment out groups of customers right here and create rewards and promotions that reward them for their past behavior. They came in, they bought a sweatshirt, right? They have the sweatshirt. Well, maybe you send them a promotion to buy the rest of the outfit or a t-shirt that goes along with that sweatshirt, right? It doesn't take a lot. it just takes a little bit of effort to remind them. Maybe they came in 6 months ago and you want them to come back, right? Or maybe they made a purchase and you know that, let's say it's like a lotion or, a health product, and you know they're going to run out of it at some point, right? So you can send that based on when they came in and purchased a certain product. Set up your Google business profile, Google business page, right? People call it different things. In today's presentation, I left, even though it's 2023 and it's called Google Business Pages, I kept it as profile because that's what people understand. But Google Business Pages can absolutely help you out here. If you haven't set yours up and verified it, that's step one. There's a lot of things that you can do, and it's really a must-have these days for a local business. Bad Rhino, one of our biggest pieces of business over the past 2 years, has been setting these things up for local businesses, as well as providing ongoing monthly maintenance for them. And it's yielded great results. It's a great thing for local business, especially if you're pulling people in from a 30-mile radius. They're awesome. You want to make sure that you have photos and you have reviews on there. And you also want to make sure that you're optimized to get to the top of Google Maps. Those are the biggest things that you see. Once you get that situated, I would start with Google. I recommend that. Start with Google Maps, and the Google suite of products. Then once you go from there, then you can start a social media strategy, Facebook, Instagram, and all the others, TikTok, etc. So I'm not big on discounting, but it is something that you can use to entice people for a local business, and it works. Local business relies on word of mouth. And if I'm sitting at a barbecue or talking to a friend or talking to a relative, and they say, yeah, I went to XYZ and I got 15% off because I haven't been there in a year, and now I have 15% off for the rest of the year. And you can play around with that. I'm not huge on offering blanket discounts all the time, but they do help you pull in people in a local market. One of the other things that we say about reviews, if you don't get them, you want to make sure that you have them. There's a lot of services out there, that will offer, we can get you 100 reviews, right? You don't want to use that. You want to get real reviews. Then you also want to reply to them, but it will help you get listed in Google Maps and Google Search, and it can potentially bring in hundreds of new customers for free. So if you're not focusing on reviews, that's something that you want to do. The other part of that is combining the email list to get the reviews. So when you get their email, the first thing you want to do is ask them for a review. That's just a quick thing. Your website content needs to be there. So Google Business is very useful. It's extremely effective, and you definitely want to utilize it. But your own website puts you at a greater advantage. So local SEO is huge, that you want, but you also have to create content for that. For a small business owner, that can be challenging, and Bad Rhino can help there. You can start to work through there, but you need to have a plan. So you want to have a website that promotes your products and expertise, but if you don't have an ad budget, you have to create content. It's really one or the other these days. You can either optimize your content to be found in search, or you can pay for ads. It's one or the other, or both, right? If you continuously generate content, that will be great. Now, there's a little tip down here at the bottom. The easiest way to create content, because we get this question all the time, I don't know what to create. Just come up with a list of the most frequent questions that you get in the store, and then write a blog post to answer those questions specifically. Add some context, and just do a call to action or a soft sell at the end. Like, hey, we look forward to seeing you here. Come in next Tuesday. Like, get specific, get weird with it in that way, and say next Tuesday or next Saturday, right? It feels like you're talking to somebody. And I think that's one of the biggest keys. You can host a live video stream. I think this thing took off a lot during, the last few years, but you can continue to do that. And videos can be really effective. If you do a live stream, let's say in this case, a jewelry business, you can start doing that YouTube and Facebook streams. And then you can use that content, put it on your website. You can then edit it and put it on Instagram. There's a lot of things you can do with video, and it's very, very powerful. It's like right here, like doing live streams. You can do it free. It just takes time to implement and get on there. Some people are good at doing it and others aren't. But then you can advertise them, just like it says right here, through live streams, or advertise the live streams through emails and your website and social media. And now if you do it consistently, you'll get more and more people watching your show. right? And that's what you call it, as a show. Be seen on social media, right? So all this content that you're promoting and everything else that you're doing, you need to be able to really work through it so that people will see it. So if you just do it and you do it once, and don't do anything to tell people about it, it's going to be difficult to have any results from it. So social media can be huge for that. Um, some of the other things that you think about is like when you do the videos and you do the content, you push it out there. Some of the pieces that put out can easily be repurposed for social media. I've seen somebody do an hour-long live stream, and they used that and broke that out into upwards of close to 50 little snippets. Right now, it was planned out and it was done that way. But now they have one piece of content for almost one piece per week for the rest of the year and into next year. So when you utilize that, you can announce sales and specials, and you're trying to create a relationship and work with them. You can encourage, just like on the reviews, encourage people to share it, encourage people to, tag other friends that might be interested in there. There's a ton of stuff that you can do. Facebook's just one example. You can participate in groups with this content. You can participate in a lot of things, and it starts to become time consuming, but it can pay off in spades. I mean, it definitely can go like a ton of different ways, and we've seen some massive growth by doing this. Once you get in there, there's a lot of neat little things that people realize. They're like, these people are nice. Like, I get to know them. Maybe I'm not there all the time. I travel to a certain part of the country, but it was really nice to see that live stream because I went in there and I bought a shirt when I needed it when I was traveling. And you remember that, people see that. So a lot of things that pop up, as people say, is like, well, what does apply to me? What doesn't apply to me? Should I be doing this, all of it? Should I be doing some of it? And you can really talk to people directly with it. So think about it, when you're doing it, do I have to be everywhere? Right? Do I need to be on all these things? Like, do I need to be on Clubhouse, which kind of popped up and died, right? Do I need to be on Instagram? Do I need to be on TikTok? If I were local, in a local store, like we're talking about here, a local retailer, be Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. That's it. You create a live stream on YouTube, you repurpose the content through Facebook and Instagram, and you have a mini social media strategy and a marketing strategy online just from that, right? So you can do it all, but most small businesses don't have the time. You can also outsource to an agency that can help you, such as Bad Rhino or somebody else, and we can help set that up for you. We can even create the content, but there's a lot of things that you can do. And I think that's the big thing in just simple tips is just do it and start. Video is very powerful because you can then easily edit it quickly. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be professional and represent your business appropriately. Promotional events, again, these aren't discounts, but this is like, hey, we're having a Labor Day sale or Memorial Day sale, but you want to get in there and do that. So you can market around holidays. You can do some things just to talk about your store and your community. You should always look for ways to package your goods for in-store and at-home experiences that can be promoted seasonally. Whether it's around Christmas or the 4th of July, you really need to look at that because it creates great content digitally, but it can also get that foot traffic. There's a lot of things that people love coming in, right? But they also have to have kind of the other side, the curbside pickup or delivery or mail. So there's a lot of things that can help develop an actual strategy that for people that come into the store as well as are staying at home. So while some of these things don't really apply to everybody, it's just something that you have to think about. So one of the things as we've been talking about is always make sure like all these pieces are coming together. So if you have an offline thing and an online thing, just make sure you have measurable goals in there. Make sure you understand what one piece of marketing is supposed to do versus the other, and then you keep building it out from there. Geographically marketing your store on social media, you can do that. You can design different ways to go in there and really target all your advertising. You really want to do that, and you can leverage your point of sale system to do that. You can do different things in your shopping cart, and then people that are coming in to leverage your point of sale system. You want to make sure that you have the right software so that it can tie into your marketing, and you can really do a lot of things with that. So always look at your point of sale software to make sure that as you start to build it out, or it's an existing one, that you have everything there to make sure that it works for you, right? And that might require getting a new system, but it really helps in 2023 to have that working together. Being out in your local community, it's always going to be important. How you go about it's going to change over time, but you want to build a strong brand. You really want to tie all your online and offline things to relevant offers for your customers, and you want to drive sales that repeat your business. So I hope this was helpful. It was just a quick little presentation on something that we're seeing. My name again is Marty McDonald. I'm co-founder of Bad Rhino Digital Marketing here in Westchester, Pennsylvania. If you need any help or you had any questions, please, just reach out, and we appreciate your time. Take care.